Okay guys, so tonight's homework is a breakaway from our historical fiction proficiency test, and we're going to look at some grammar and some issues that I'm noticing with your sentence structure, which a lot of times is one of the things that can pull you away from getting that all-important A. So tonight's homework, we're going to be learning the difference between semicolons and colons. How many of you actually know the difference? Well, hopefully by tonight you do. And we're going to figure out some ways to use those in a properly punctuated sentence, and we're going to apply our knowledge of both. So for semicolons, you can use a semicolon to suggest a stronger pause than a comma. So most of the places you use a comma, you could in fact use a semicolon if you want to place a little bit more emphasis on that particular part of the sentence. It can also serve the place of a period if you're going to make a compound sentence and pull two independent clauses together. And an independent clause means two complete sentences that you're just going to smash together and put a semicolon in there. To create a compound sentence and you use a semicolon, you join those that are not connected with a coordinating conjunction. So this means that you're putting something together that does not have a conjunction word. Okay, sorry about that. I had to answer someone's question real quick. All right, so an example of this is down below, and I do want you to write the example so you can kind of get into the swing of things of how to use these semicolons and colons. So the example is the United States has more computers than any other country. Its residents, and you'll notice the semicolon right there, its residents own more than 164 million of them. My house definitely contributes to that. I don't know about you, but I have a couple of computers at home too. All right, so moving on. Other ways to use semicolons. You can also use it to join two independent clauses when they're connected by a conjunctive adverb, which is a crazy thing. But these are things like as a result, for example, however, therefore, instead. We use these quite often. I think probably one of the more common one is to use however or instead. Those two probably we use a lot. So those are words. Definitely write those down because that's definitely something that can elevate your writing when you can use pieces like that. Okay, so example, Japan is next on the list. However, the Japanese have only 50 million computers. So you'll see the semicolon there. And then another example, you maybe just write down one. You don't have to write down both of these since the second sentence is gigantic. But maybe write down just the first one so you can see how you can use that conjunctive adverb in the sentence. And then the second one just says, you might think that the billion people of China own a lot of computers. Instead, the smaller country of Germany has twice as many computers as China, which is odd. I wonder if that's still true. Okay, moving on. You can also use a semicolon between groups of words in a series when one or more of those groups already contain commas. So what does that look like? Well, here's your example. Many of our community's residents separate their garbage into bins for newspaper, cardboard, and junk mail, and glass and non-recyclable trash. Oh, go back. Hold on. Because there's actually two happening here, and I don't have the arrow on the second one, but you see the second one under junk mail, right? So there are some examples. That's a little bit more high-tech there. I normally might see one like this with you guys with just the one semicolon, not two, but regardless, that's a good way to think about it. Okay, moving on. So let's practice what's going on here. And this is a wacky slide. I don't know why it looks like this. Okay, so if you can write a compound sentence about any kind of game that you've played and then punctuate it with a semicolon, I'd like for you to practice how to use that. So it could be any kind of game. It could be a sports game. It could be a video game. It could be a board game. Everybody's played some type of game at some point. So write a compound sentence punctuating with a semicolon, and then write another compound sentence. Try using a conjunctive adverb. So go back to your notes and see what I mean by that. And throw that semicolon in to join two independent clauses or two complete sentences together. And go back to your notes if you don't remember what I'm talking about. We're going to share these in class tomorrow, and we'll pick the best one and write it out on our whiteboard since you guys seem to like doing that so much. Note to self, fix this slide for next time because it's all wonky. Okay, moving on. Now we're going to talk about colons a little bit. So a colon can be used to introduce a list or an important point. They can also be used in business letters and between numbers in time. So you could use it after a greeting in a business letter, like Dear Mrs. Manners or Dear Professor Potter, etc. You see where all of those are. You could also use a colon to you can use a colon to introduce a list. So this usually comes afterwards describing the subject of the list, or it can come after summary words such as the following or these things. So the following things are important to come to class with or something. So do not, oh Lord, look at that typo. Do not use a colon after a verb or a preposition. It's not Sue. Maybe I'll make a bonus question for that. So example, certain items are still difficult to recycle. And you see the semicolon there. Foam, cups, car tires, and toxic chemicals. To conserve water, you should do the following 3 things. Fix drippy faucets, install a low-flow shower head, and turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth. Again, semicolon before the list. That's probably the most common way you're going to use a colon. So you can start thinking about trying to throw that in, and that will help your internal sentence structure and punctuation. Okay, so a colon can be used to introduce a sentence, a question, or a quotation. And right now we're working on using quotations a lot, using those textual supports in our writing. So this could help your theme paragraph for our latest proficiency. So for example, this is why air pollution is bad. We are sacrificing our health and the health of all other life on the planet. Semicolon there. Answer this question for me. Why aren't more people concerned about global warming? So not only are you like separating the sentence, you're also kind of putting emphasis on what it is that you're asking or using a quotation or quote in. Joaquin shared this with us. Iceland is the world's leader in the use of renewable energy. So again, semicolon right there before you use the quote. So that's great information, and in fact, I think the quotation piece is really helpful for what we're currently doing. Okay, and again, you can use it to emphasize a word or phrase. So your example, the newest alternative energy is also the most common element on Earth. Hydrogen. Notice how I paused with the colon there and put extra emphasis on that word. Here's one thing that that can help save energy: a programmable thermostat. Thinking I like colons like this. This could be like my new thing. I seem to use ellipses constantly like they're going out of style, and I use semicolons a lot. I've not really used colons like this, but it seems like this is the way I talk. So to add voice to my paper, maybe I should start doing this all the time. See, this is where my brain goes. Nerd alert. Okay. Anyways, use a colon between parts of a number that indicates time. This is obviously the easiest one. You know that it's a colon when you write down the time on something. But here's your example. My thermostat automatically sets my heat to 60 degrees between 11 p.m. and 6 a.m. And obviously the semicolons are there. Or colons, sorry, not semicolons. All right, so let's practice. I would like for you to write a letter, just about a paragraph in length, complaining to a business on a product that you used recently that really disappointed you. And this could be anything, like maybe you got a video game that you hated, or maybe you bought a cover for your iPod or something and it wasn't what you were expecting, or maybe you ate some food someplace and it was horrible and it made you sick or something. That'd be perfect. Anyways, I want you to write complaining to a business, a letter complaining to a business about something that didn't come out the way that you wanted it to. So include as many colons as you can where necessary throughout this paragraph. Hint, describe the time you used this product. So maybe if you're going to write a letter to Taco Bell because you ate dinner there the other day and then it made you throw up or something, you got sick from it. Say, I went to Taco Bell last night at 8 p.m. and ordered 2 crunchy tacos, but notice you're using 8 p.m., so there's your colon. You could emphasize how that product should work or how disappointed you were. You could, like I said, that's like my new favorite thing, that point of emphasis by using the colon that way. Another idea, you could use it at the beginning after you say hello in the letter, like, Dear Manager of Taco Bell, colon, right? And then you start writing your paragraph. Okay, So after you're done with your paragraph, don't forget to do the digital whisk. I'll include a special bonus question for some of my typos today. What is going on? Okay, and don't forget to submit the digital quiz, the digital whisk and the quiz on Sophia off to the right there, and make sure that you can prove that you understood the concepts. And I know this was a little bit of a longer video, but I'm looking at 10 minutes and 22 seconds right now, and that's not too shabby. So you're finished, and I'll see you tomorrow. We'll go over what you put together for your Let's Practice section. Okay, see you tomorrow.